Hello, I'm Coach Brown, author of the Amazon bestseller, The Student Athlete Playbook Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life, and it is the number one book for youth student athletes. I'm also a member of the leadership team for Youth Education and Sports, a nonprofit organization that helps our young people develop into the student athletes and the student artists that are ready to take on the challenges of the world in the best way possible. And today, I want to talk about Shedeur Sanders and the 2025 NFL Draft. Now, listen, it's been big news since Thursday of last week, April 24th, 2025. And I mean, I'm talking about all over social media, from Sports Center to NFL Live. I mean, every show imaginable, the NFL Network. This has captivated the world. And if you don't know who Shedeur Sanders is, just Google him. Major NIL deals at Jackson State, major NIL deals at the University of Colorado. The kid has won on every level, state championship in high school, going over to Jackson State University, a winner there for 2 years. I think he had a record of something like 23-4 or something like that. University of Colorado took a 1-11 team to 4-8. And then this year they went 9-4 this past season. So the young man can play ball. He's been a quarterback. He's been groomed to be an NFL quarterback. So there's no question about his talent. That speaks for itself. Now the question is, how did a young man who was projected to be a first-round pick, and for many experts, he was a top 5 pick around the board from everything that I saw, he was projected as the number 2 quarterback to go in this draft. So how does a young man who won one of the major college football quarterback awards, the Johnny Unitas Award, led the nation, college football, major college football, in completion percentage? I believe he was second in touchdown thrown, and he was definitely in the top 5 for yardage, if not the top 3. So how does a young man that puts up these kind of stats, 9-4 record, has played 4 years of college football as the starting quarterback, how does he end up being a 5th-round draft pick? Now, we can talk about character. The young man has never been in trouble with the law. Oh, we can talk about him being braggadocious. The kid got swag for days. Oh, we can even talk about him not being prepared for the meetings with these teams. Yep, we've heard about all of that. Matter of fact, we can talk about the fact that his legendary father, the great Deion Sanders, who I actually patterned my playing career after in high school and in college. That style of play benefited me well. Now, I wasn't as big as him. I wasn't as fast as him, but I definitely tried to play like him. And I made a lot of plays doing so at the high school level and at the college level. So we can talk about all of that. But something I find very interesting about this entire situation is the fact that we've seen this before. And we've seen less talented players still get drafted in the 1st round, no matter what they had going on outside of the field or off the field. So my question to everyone is, why? Why did the owners of these NFL franchises believe that it would be a terrible investment to bring Shedeur Sanders into their organization as a first-round pick. And there were several teams that needed him. Matter of fact, the team that drafted him in the 5th round is one of the teams that clearly needed him. So now, after the draft, we're finding out that owners actually said, take this young man off of their draft board. So you're talking about a talent that was widely recognized as the number 2 quarterback in this draft, this past draft. He dropped all the way to the 5th round. We've never seen this before. We've never seen anything like this before. Unbelievable. Now, a lot of people are going to tell you he wasn't talented enough. And they're going to bring up all this different stuff about him not being talented enough. But that doesn't hold water with me personally, because we've seen lesser quarterbacks get taken in the 1st round by far. So again, why? We've heard people talk about race. We've talked about him not being prepared for these one-on-one meetings, like I just mentioned. Even heard that his entourage went with him to some meetings. Now, I don't know if any of this stuff is true, but that's what has been said. That's what has been reported. Let me put it that way. And some of these from very credible sources. So let's say all of it is true. However, we've seen this before. We saw it with John Elway back in 1983. He actually signed a contract to go play baseball in the summertime with the New York Yankees. There's a 30 for 30 about it. Go check it out. It's called From Elway to Marino, 30 for 30. Check it out. Watch how he was talking. Now, this is the great John Elway. I have a John Elway throwback jersey. So I'm a John Elway fan. However, if you go back and look how he was talking in 1983 as a top prospect coming out of Stanford, tell me what you see. You be the judge of that. He said, I'm not going to play for the Baltimore Colts. And if you draft me, I'm going to play baseball. Now, he has some leverage there, right? He sure did. We seen it with Bo Jackson. People forget about that. Bo Jackson said, I'm not playing for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And he didn't. Bo Jackson went ahead and signed a baseball contract and was a great baseball player. But eventually he did play football. If you remember him playing for the Oakland Raiders. And was a Major League Baseball all-star as well. But Bo Jackson had leverage. And then the most recent version of this, we saw it with Eli Manning. When Archie Manning, his dad, said, hey, he's not playing for San Diego. And he didn't play for San Diego. Now, Eli Manning didn't play baseball or another sport, Major League Soccer or anything. He played football. And he did not play for the San Diego Chargers. He ended up playing for the New York Giants. Now, you tell me why. We know John Elway had leverage. We know Bo Jackson had leverage. Eli Manning didn't have any leverage other than his name, his last name. Archie Manning, his dad, and his older brother, the great Peyton Manning. So now, Shedeur Sanders. Yes, I believe he probably made some pre-draft mistakes. They say he didn't attend the Senior Bowl, or he attended and all he did was there briefly, but he didn't participate. That's a fact. He didn't work out at the combine. That's a fact. Deion made some statements that probably weren't the greatest, saying, yes, I'm going to have some say-so where my son plays. Maybe somebody didn't like that. Maybe a lot of people in the NFL didn't like it. Matter of fact, where there's smoke, there's probably fire, because now we know some teams completely took Shedeur completely off their draft board. So, hey, there were some mistakes made. This is what I want to make sure I say to all the student athletes, all the parents of these student athletes that may see this video. We need to understand, you need to understand, we all need to understand what leverage is. We all need to understand who holds the cards at that particular moment. And no matter who holds the cards, no matter what leverage you have or don't have, you must maintain your professionalism. You must make sure that you hold yourself to a certain standard. There's nothing wrong with being confident. As a matter of fact, that's one of the biggest and craziest things we've all seen through sports, where they say one athlete has passion. Ooh, they passionate. That's great confidence. And then another athlete, for some reason, is arrogant and cocky. Oh, that's not good. Why is that? So, student athletes, student artists, understand when opportunities are before you, you must understand the landscape of what you're attempting to go into. You got to keep your head on a swivel. You have to do your research. Again, you have to be a professional and learn how to be a professional and be a better professional, so that you understand what you have to do to get the results that you desire. So let me leave you with this. These are the pillars of success with the Student Athlete Achievement Program from Youth Education and Sports. Vision, goals, habits, focus, and work ethic. Now, if you combine those 5 pillars of success with talent, there's not going to be a lot that's going to stop you from accomplishing what you want to accomplish. So I hope this video helps somebody. I hope you go look back and reflect on this Shedeur Sanders situation in the 2025 NFL draft and think about what you would do and what you will do when you're faced with a decision and the opportunity before you like this one. Prepare for success. Success doesn't happen by accident. You must prepare for it and go work your butt off for it. So, hey, I'm Coach Brown, author of the #1 book for youth student athletes, the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life, and a member of the leadership team for Youth Education and Sports, the nonprofit organization that helps young student athletes and student artists become who they say they want to become. Hey, one love. Definitely comment in the comment section. Share this video with your family and friends or any young student athletes that is ready to take their game to the next level. One love.